Hearty welcome to this webinar. So without wasting much time, on behalf of Towards Better India, I request Professor Alok Sharma ji, he's a director at IITTM Nellore, to give introduction about honorable guest of the day, Bharati Ghosh. Hand over to Alok Sharma ji.
I welcome all the dignitaries here on this virtual platform, and it's my privilege to introduce Srimati Bharati Ghosh. We're proud of you, ma'am. Bharati Ghosh, ma'am, is the Vice President BJP West Bengal, and she's ex-IPS officer of WB West Bengal cadre. She has done a BCom honors, MBA from Jadavpur University, LLB from Vardhavan University, International Marketing in Psychoanalytic Theory from Harvard University. Chavini Gurukul Scholar, London School of Economics and Political Science from UK, a national scholar. Her family background is she is daughter of late Dr. Ramesh Chandra Ghosh, who was MA PhD from Oxford, UK. Centenary Professor of Public Administration, Calcutta University, and Head of the Department of Political Science, Presidency College, Calcutta. And her mother is late Dr. Srimati Bela Ghosh. She was MA, MSc, and PhD from UK. She was also Head of the Department of Political Science, Lady Brabourne College, Calcutta. Her husband is Mr. M.A.V. Raju, Chartered Accountant, served the Calcutta Stock Exchange for 26 years on senior managerial position. In February 2018, he was serving as general manager of this exchange when he was compelled by state repression to submit his resignation. Mr. Raju was not allowed to attend office day after day, resulting in resignation. The initial years of Srimati Bharati Ghosh, she joined as lecturer of business management, Jadavpur University, later shifted to police service. Her services with the UN, United Nations. She is recipient of 6 medals from the United Nations and numerous appreciation letters from different UN mission heads. She served the international community under the auspices of the United Nations for 6 years during the tenure at UN. Attended the International Police Academy, Bramshill, UK, Embakasi Military Institute, Kenya, and Police Training Academy, Jordan, on different aspects of international peace and security. She started her career with the United Nations in 2003 as a commander of the multi-brigade force in Kosovo and served as commander of Kosovo Polze, the largest ethnic subdivision in Kosovo. And from 2007 to 2011, she served all major continents except Australia as policy and planning advisor in the different UN missions at Somalia, Chad, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, at Nairobi, Africa, Rome, Brindisi, France, Haiti, South America, and in the Middle East, Jordan, Amman, Erbil, Kirkuk, Basra, and Baghdad. Last mission was Operation Eagle in Baghdad. That was the United Nations assistance mission to Iraq. She returned to India after completion of Baghdad mission and took over as Superintendent of Police in Jungle Mahal Band. Her services with West Bengal government as IPS officer. She is the first lady Superintendent of Police in West Bengal and first SP to hold simultaneous charge of 2 separate police districts of 6 years, for 6 years, from 2012 to 2017, and both were deadly Maoist districts. Since 1947, the only IPS officer to hold simultaneously charge of 2 Maoist districts of Jhargram and Paschim Midnapur from 2012 and 2017. She has initiated the surrender of several hundreds of Maoist, including top Maoist commanders, and restored normalcy in the region. She served as an officer on special duty for entire LWE band, and she received Chief Minister's Medal for commendable service. She is extremely popular and widely respected in Jungle Mahal LWE band. Relations strained with TMC government after Sabang by-elections in December 2017, when she was blamed for BJP's increased vote share, which rose from 2,000 to 37,000. She took VRS in January 2019, after which a series of criminal cases were started against her to malign her public image. And then the political career of Srimati Bharati Ghosh. She joined Bharatiya Janata Party in February 2019. She is an extremely popular BJP leader in West Bengal, as evident from massive gatherings in her meetings. She tested Lok Sabha seat from Ghatal, West Midnapur, and received more than 6 lakhs vote. That is 40%, more than 40% also. And it's a big percentage of the total vote which BJP received in 2014. She was the only candidate who held the national television captive for 8 hours on the election day on 12th May 2019, when she was detained in Keshpur, one assembly in the Ghatak Lok Sabha, physically assaulted, stoned, bombed, and finally about to get killed when her security guard CRPF fired. The entire Keshpur vote was rigged. All 270 out of 277 polling agents were kidnapped by TMC. Her TMC rival was a Bengali film star, Deepak Adhikari, lies dead. So I welcome Srimati Bharati Ghosh. Be proud of you, madam. And we are going to talk on today's women in Atma Nirbhar Bharat, and we are proud to be with us today. Thank you very much, madam. Please, over to Venkata.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for a brief introduction. So, without wasting much time, I request Srimati Bharati Ghosh to give introduction remarks on the topic. Hand over to Bharati Ghosh.
First of all, namaskaram to all of you. My respect and namaskaram to the host, Mr. Venkata Krishna Rao, and namaskaram to Dr. Alok Sharma, Professor Alok Sharma, Director of IIT TM. My respect and namaskar to this huge galaxy of intellects, and I feel humbled by this presence. I have noticed a few names in the participants. I would like to say namaskar to Professor Ramachandra Kumar, Dr. Devendra, Dr. Manish Kumar from IIT Bombay, Dr. N. Rajendra, Dr. Mukesh Prasad, Dr. Silly Raut, Professor K. Lal Kishore, Professor G. Padaya, and all other participants. Namaskar to everyone who has taken the time out today to come here and hear me out. I am honored and privileged. It's a pleasure for me to talk to you and to interact. At the very beginning, I would say that I am not a very forceful speaker, and I would like to interact with you. I would like and love questions. If you are interested to know more about the condition of women in West Bengal and the present situation, I would be very happy to answer you at the end of this session. We are going to discuss today women in Atma Nirbhar Bharat. Atma Nirbhar Bharat. Everywhere there are women, you know, we can't avoid women. Even in mythology, The gods were always seen in consort of their wives. Brahma with Saraswati, Vishnu with Lakshmi, Shiva with Parvati, and even in Homa, your yagna, we give ahuti to Swaha, wife of Agni. So the importance of women in our Indian society has always been there. Women as goddess, women as mother, women as wife, as daughters, they are everywhere. Even if the men want to avoid them or not take them alone, literally they have no choice. Before discussing Atma-Nirbhar Bharat and women, role of women, or who is the ideal women in Atma-Nirbhar Bharat, you see, Indian history has always been full of women from long, long time. Women who have inspired us, and for generations, we have respected them for their brilliance, for their competence, for their sacrifice, for their administrative skills, for their leadership abilities, for their benevolence, and for the love and affection that they had for the society, for their family, and for the nation. One must agree that India's system today, even today, from long time back, is a patriarchal system, and women do not get the full support, full-fledged support from men in their endeavors. Even in such a situation, there have been women who did not bow to the pressures of the society and rather change the society and catalyze the society to bring uniqueness and make it more attractive for them and for the world. They were Atma-Nirbhar women before Bharat became Atma-Nirbhar. We can start with Savitribai Phule. I wonder if you have heard of her. She is the first female lady teacher in India. When she was a very small child, she got married, and her 12-year-old husband understood her yearn for learning and started teaching her. This was a time when women were not allowed to study in India. And in 1948, when her husband, Govind Rao, Jyoti Rao, started in a school for girls, Savitribai Phule became the first female teacher in that school. The couple was stoned, pelted with mud, shit, but they overcame caste, discrimination, and all of the difficulties to become the first lady female teacher in India when, at that point of time, Bharat was not Atmanirbhar, but the woman became Atmanirbhar in her own brilliance, in her own insight. And we can carry on from there to go on Razia Sultan, you know, when the tradition dictated that only the male heir should be the chosen one. Razia Sultan became the first female ruler of the Sultanate, Delhi Sultanate, daughter of Iltutmish. She held the reign for many years before she was assassinated. She was a protector of the Hindu culture, and she took the throne at a time when India did not accept women rulers. You know Sita, a very docile wife, victim of circumstances, yet an epitome of sacrifice, strength, and dignity in the face of adversity. She took the hardships with Ram, went to exile with him. She walked through fire to prove her chastity. And she was the epitome of quiet dignity. But at the same time, her determination prevented her to walk through the fire for a second time, and she left Ram and she went into exile at the end of her life. So we can carry on to talk about Savitri, somebody who defied Yama, Draupadi, who accepted her fate very quietly, with dignity and grace, Maharani Durgavati, who fought with the Akbar's invasive army in the 16th century and sacrificed her life for the nation. We could talk about Manikarnika, Rani of Jhansi, who fought the British and sacrificed her life. We could talk about Ahalyabai Holkar, who was the daughter-in-law of Malhar Holkar, the founder of the Holkar dynasty, but she designed the present city of Indore. She built dharmashalas all over India, excellent administrative skills, excellent Atma Nirbharata at a time when Bharat, or that India, medieval India, was not Atmanirbhar. Perhaps many of you who are from the south have heard of Chinnamma, Rani Chinnamma, the queen of the princely state of Kittur, who was one of the first female independence activists of our country at a time when women freedom fighters were not common, but we had lots of them. Sarojini Naidu, Madam Bhikaji Kama, Begum Hasrat Mahal, Annie Besant, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, who was the first president of the UN General Assembly, the first one to hold a cabinet post, the first female to go to Russia as an ambassador, Usha Mehta, Aruna Asraf Ali, many, many, many more, Anandabai Joshi, who was the first South Asian female physician, the first Hindu woman to set foot in the United States of America and to study medicine. In the modern period, we have seen Indira Gandhi, the former Prime Minister of India. We have seen Chandrima Ranatunga, the former President of Sri Lanka. We have seen Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan. We have seen Pratibha Patil, the former President of India. And we have seen Khaleda Zia, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, and now Sheikh Hasina, the 10th Prime Minister of Bangladesh. We have seen many, many, many in the medieval, in the ancient, and in the modern India. We talk of singing. The picture of Usha Uthup, Shreya Ghoshal comes to our mind. We talk of policing, Kiran Bedi comes to our mind. We talk of writing, Arundhati Roy, Nivedita Sen comes to our mind. Everywhere we look, we find women, 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 Atmanirbhar women who have carried India along on their shoulders and tried to glorify India, tried to keep the Indian flag flying high in the world map. This is not a sudden thing. From the Vedic age, we have seen brilliant women like Gargi, Vachaknavi, we have seen Maitreyi, and in the modern era, we see Zia Modi. Many of you have heard of our co-founder of AZ and partners, Kiran Majumdar Shaw, Managing Director of Bicon, Sunita Reddy, Managing Director of Apollo, Mallika Srinivasan, CEO of Tractor and Farm Equipment, Tafi. And I can go on and on and on. And you will see that many, many women, right from the ancient time to this medieval time, and then carrying India into modern time, have glorified India with their acts, with their brilliance, with their benevolence, with their sacrifice, with their administrative skills, with their managerial skills. And they have taken India to a height where now Brinda Grover comes in the Time magazine, recognized as one of the 100 most influential women. She's a lawyer and a human rights activist. Vizi Penkuttu comes in BBC's list of 100 women. She founded the Penkuttu All-Woman Tribal Women's Group. And there are many, many, many. Now, the question is that if today we have extraordinary women among the ordinary, then why are we here to talk role of women, or who should be the ideal woman, or how women should be in Narendra Modi ji's the Honorable Prime Minister's 21st century Atma Bharat. Atma means eternal self or consciousness. Nirbhar means Bharat. When Modi ji had this divine vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Modi ji wanted to say what Bengal's Rabindranath Tagore said long time back. What Tagore said was actually Atmanirbhar Bharat in vision, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world is not broken up into fragments of narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My father, let my country be awake. Which means that Tagore's divine vision of the mind and the thought process and the intellect being free from material short-term gains, being free from material achievements, where the mind focuses on the advancement of the nation, and where the mind reaches towards self-realization and contribution to Bharat, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. Which means that self-sufficiency is the key, but self-realization, self-sacrifice, and service to the nation is the goal. We must be self-sufficient in order to meet our needs, but we need something more than self-sufficiency to contribute and to serve the nation, and that is Atmanirbhar Bharat. And to reach that purpose, we must take the women of India along with us, because today we are having a population of 130 crores. 130 crores, and 48% of this 130 crores are women. So if we are to have an Atmanirbhar Bharat, where we are to sacrifice ourselves for the development, for the advancement of the nation, then 48% of this 130 crores, which means 64 crores, should be taken along. We cannot leave the women behind if we have an Atmanirbhar Bharat. And we have to make every ordinary woman extraordinary in terms of brilliance, in terms of education, in terms of training, in terms of confidence, in terms of alertness, so that every single woman can contribute as an extraordinary coming out of ordinariness and make contributions for Atmanirbhar Bharat. With the demographic sphere dividend being designated as one of the 5 interrelated pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat in Modi ji's concept of Bharat, Abhijan India must strive for women-led development so as to make the ordinary women the leading force, I repeat, the leading force in the development trajectory. And let us see if we can do that and make an ordinary woman a superwoman to contribute to Atmanirbhar Bharat. What is the present position? I feel happy, I take pleasure to say that Indian women have the potential to generate 150 to 170 million jobs by 2030 and add $700 billion to the Indian GDP by 2025. And to do that, Indian women's participation in the economic process is very important. But we find that there is a gender gap unemployment. Gender gap unemployment, very important. And the gender gap unemployment expands day by day. Women joining the workforce, Indian women joining the workforce has dropped from 32.2% in 2005 to almost 23.4% in 2019, creating a very, very big gender gap unemployment. This scene actually looks grimmer with the COVID-19 situation creating more job loss for women, and women today stands at 26.3% job loss, while for men it is 23.3%. So evidently, it is clear that women's participation in the economic process needs to be intensified if India is truly to become Atma Bharat. And for this, education and empowerment of women are two critical pillars in this pursuit. Special focus must be given to women from the backward sections of the community whose access to resources and to the learning process is very meager, and we must help them. The government of India and the different stakeholders, the NGOs and all the stakeholders must come forward to prepare a cadre of educated, trained women through different initiatives in education, healthcare, community engagements, and livelihood. I strongly believe and personally believe that if you educate women, they become empowered. And if they become empowered, they become confident. And if they become confident, their psychological maturity increases, their mental health improves. And if their mental health is very, very strong, then their family becomes strong, the community becomes prosperous, and the nation progresses. We were talking of gender gap in unemployment. I will go further into the status of women in household. I believe that in this working session, in this working group, there are women who are listening to me and during the COVID situation was stuck in the house doing household chores. To these women and to many more household women who are outside and will probably listen to whatever I have to say today, they strongly feel unequal status at home because of unequal distribution of unpaid household work. Women have been doing the household work, household chores continuously, and you know their status. It is an unpaid status. So when there is an unpaid status of unpaid household chores, their unequal distribution with the men not taking up responsibilities creates unequal status of women at home. So if India is to move forward where women are to be made equal partners to men, it's very, very important that Indian men would come forward to share the load of household chores and take equal share of the work so as to reduce the gross imbalance. And I can say that now with the gender gap unemployment and with the unequal status, there is one other term which is called the gender pay gap in India. I will explain this little bit. Gender pay gap. It's like this, that if you're putting money in the hands of a woman, you are actually giving a moral booster to her because she is not only having the purchasing power, but also an autonomy in decision making. You see, in India, women are drivers of 70% consumer purchase decision, which has a cascading effect down on the larger economy, but yet this pay gap continues. The gender pay gap now stands at 19% in man's favor and increases gradually. The gap is accentuated with as one rises in the skill set and in the ladder, in the experience ladder. So this gender gap is also felt in women-centric sectors like social work and health. In rural areas, male earns nearly more than 1.4 to 1.7 times more than a female. And also, women are disadvantaged in terms of quality and nature of work, because you see, women are more confined to teaching jobs, garment factories, domestic chores, domestic help, cleaners, and such kind of jobs. So we can say clearly that yes, women are disadvantaged when it comes to choosing nature of work. There are other problems in India as we move from the gender gap unemployment and the gender problems, the unequal status of women, to the crime scenario. You will be very surprised to know that in this context, I might refer to some of my figures. In 2018, with a population of 130 crores, there were 378,277 cases of crime against women, as per the report of National Crime Bureau, India. 291 cases of rape with murder, and 33,000, I repeat, 33,000 cases of rape recorded in India in the year 2018. Domestic violence tops the list when we come to crime against women. We are talking of an Atma Bharat, and I'm sure that all of you over here would agree that when we talk about women, we talk about women's progress, we talk about women's development, we talk about women's participation in the economic process. We think that women in India needs to feel safe. Women in India must be safe. They should walk in the roads feeling safe. They should stay inside their homes feeling safe. Only then they can rise up the ladder. Human trafficking is a very important social problem, legal problem in India. And you'll be surprised to know that in 2015, 6,877 cases were recorded of human trafficking, and 40% of these trafficked people were children and women. And India has 38,000, I repeat, 38,503 victims of trafficking in 2018 and 19. You see, when we were talking of gender gap unemployment, we were talking of unequal status, we were talking of gender pay gaps. Here, when we are talking of human trafficking, we are talking of capability will gap of India's law enforcement agencies, who are not able to control the human trafficking, and India's figure in human trafficking rises up. India is a very important victim. West Bengal, where I belong, tops the chart with acid attack. Can you believe a country where sale of acid is banned over the counter? From 2013, from 2014 to 18, we find 1,483 acid attack victims. The process of disposal of cases are long. Even sometimes it takes a lifetime of the victim. So we can say that the system has not been able to provide swift justice. And along with that, there are other problems. As you know, a few days back, we saw Me Too, sexual harassment at workplace. We need to revisit the whole scenario, how to make women safer in India. In healthcare, a pregnant woman dies every 10 minutes. 3 lakh infants die the day they're born. We need 500 medical colleges now if we are to give healthcare proper system to pregnant women. We need 2 lakh gynecologists. We have only 30,000. So where are the healthcare systems to make women feel healthier? Of course, there are good news also. The maternal mortality ratio had a steep decline from 130 to 130 per lakh, and it has gone down in 2018. Let's go to education. Census 2011. The male literacy rate was 82.14%, while female literacy rate was 64.46, giving again a gap in education of 17.68 between the sexes at national level. In 2010, the Parliament passed the Education Act, which made education free and compulsory. But in 2018, in very recent years, we have seen 13% of the girls between the age group of 15 to 16 dropping out of school as per the 2018 Annual Status of Education Report. Why? Safety concerns, household scores, poor economic condition, lack of toilet and other facilities in the school. Please remember my earlier statement that India could have added or could add even now a hopping 770 billion to the country's GDP by 2025 by encouraging girls to study and participate in the workforce. Of course, it is social mindset which needs to change now to send all girls to school. Why are the parents reluctant to send their girl child to school? Why do we have today 1.5 million girls under 18 getting married? 27% of the total girls getting married before their 18th birthday and 7% of the girls getting married before their 15th birthday. Can you believe this? Don't you think that girls should start claiming their rights to education in order to contribute and build a strong, independent Atma Bharat? Don't you think that the journey to Atma Bharat should begin with education of a girl child and should carry forward years together until that person is able to stand on her feet with self-sufficiency and contribute to the country? I can tell you numerous examples of little initiatives taken by states. For example, the Jharkhand School of Education has started distributing free textbooks for girls up to the grade of 12. Gurgaon has also taken such initiative. Uttar Pradesh has given monetary incentive of 30,000 to female students for outstanding performances, and gradually the situation is getting improved. I will now talk of our Prime Minister's initiatives to build Atmanirbhar Bharat with the help of women and to bring women forward and to have a progressive society. Mahila E-Hath, launched by the Ministry of Women and Child Development to support women entrepreneurs, NGOs, self-help groups to showcase the products which are made by them and services rendered by them. This is part of Digital India initiative. You are well acquainted with Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program, which actually focuses on eradication of female foeticide and building awareness on welfare services intended for young Indian girls. But Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is also linked with Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Prevention of Misuse Act 1994. I repeat, Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Prevention of Misuse Act 1994, which also has the same aim, that is eradication of female foeticide and creating awareness that that is an offense. So Save the Girl Child is an initiative under Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao of the Honorable Prime Minister of India. The Honorable Prime Minister has taken very serious steps in the matter of bringing of women and having their effective participation in the process of building an Atmanirbhar Bharat. One-stop center schools, or they are known as also Sakhi, is a center which provides help to distressed women who are victims of violence. It is a one-stop center which provides police help, medical help, legal help, counseling, and also shelter to women in distress. Modi ji has announced several programs. One of them is Padhar Griho, which means rehabilitation of women who are in difficult situations. This is also a project of the Ministry of Child and Women Development. In addition to this, Modi ji has taken steps for setting up working women's hostels in almost all places in India. And one of the initiatives is STEP, STEP, the Support to Training and Employment Program for Women, which provides skill building, which is very important. It develops competencies and provides skill building training to generate self-employment. So it is a kind, the STEP training is given to self-help groups, and particularly in the field of zari, embroidery, nursing, horticulture, stitching, handloom, even in computer and IT sectors. Apart from this, you must have heard about Sukanya Samriddhi account, which is meant to help families for the daughters, for their education expenses, and for their wedding expenses. And you must have heard about Uddojini Yojana, which means launching special programs for aspiring entrepreneurs. And all these come together along with the Nari Shakti Vahini and other steps. They're all great initiatives taken by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, along with the Ministry of Child and Women Development. And the Prime Minister himself has taken few projects on his shoulder, like Ujala gas scheme, giving free gas to women below the poverty line, the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana scheme for women, giving subsidized loan, and Ujawala, a comprehensive scheme for prevention of trafficking, rescue, rehabilitation of women. Today, as I discussed, Modi ji's Atma Bharat and the schemes Modi ji has visualized to bring women up the ladder into the sphere of progress and development, I also feel that the circumstances will improve in the years to come with a more favorable environment for and more toilets. As you know, they're already being built. Bharat will be such a Bharat with positive thinking. The gender gap unemployment will be removed gradually. Equal status will be given to men, and more health care, more safety in the workplace, and definitely women will be ready to come forward. Very few developments have taken place where women have, together thought about this, they themselves have thought about this, and they have come forward to assist in this matter of Atmanirbhar Bharat. One great example is the Deccan Diversity Group, which has many active women shanghos. Almost in 75 villages, they have active women shanghos who are now helping thousands of women. This is a very good initiative of Telangana. I'm sure that you have heard of it. In Gonda and in Bundeli, you must have known that the neem tree, saplings of the neem tree are being planted, and now women are forming self-help groups to reap money. They're growing, nurturing saplings, and now they have more than 5 lakh saplings in 10 nurseries. This is green wealth as well as success for Atmanirbhar Bharat. In Chhattisgarh, the tribal Adivasis have developed Madhukam. Madhukam is a brand of herbal hand sanitizer, which they have developed with the help of Professor Samarth Jain from local Mahua brew. These are some of the initiatives taken by women to move forward, progress by themselves, with themselves, together, and contribute to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, as I come to my own conclusions, I would say that we have discussed in this working session the importance of women's participation in the economic process, the importance of self-help groups, the importance of reduction in the gender gap statistics. But we have not focused as to Who is that woman? Who is that woman, the North Star, who can guide us to overcome all obstacles and reach Atmanirbharata in Atmanirbhar Bharat? You can say safely that we need more businesswomen. You can say we need more entrepreneurs. You can say we need more head of states, more district collectors, more policewomen. But at the end of the day, who is that particular woman who can lead us all, build us all, and take us to that sky and make us part of that huge galaxy, Atmanirbharata? In the ancient times, we had Kunti, the lion-hearted mother, the great mother of Yudhishthir, Arjun, Bhima, Nakul, and Sahadev. We had Yashoda, the adopted mother of Krishna, who is more talked about than Devaki, the birth mother. In the modern era, we hear about Hiraben Modi. Hiraben Modi, 98 years, who actually saved 130 crores of Indian population by giving birth to Narendra Damodar Das Modi. And together, they have visualized Akhanda Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So long live Hiraben, the most revered mother of the Honorable Prime Minister of India. We can safely say today that at the end of the day, we need more women as ideal mothers, ideal teachers, women who can catch their children young and make them good citizens, good human beings, who can foster in them the Desh Prem, which is very much missing, and keep the bond with Bharat alive in their hearts. We need more women as ideal mothers and ideal teachers who themselves will reach and have Atmanirbharata, which means self-independence. Atma Samman, which means self-respect. Atma Sachetanata, which means self-realization. Atma Tag, which means sacrifice. Atma Viswas, which means confidence. And Atma Balidan, which again means benevolence, sacrifice, and tag. And in the process, one must not go for, or one must say no to Atma Samarpan, which means surrender. Atma Stuti, which means Apni Prasamsa. One must say no to Apna Pratima Nirman, which is Atma Prasamsa. According to Dattapant, Apna Pratima Nirman se kohi kuch bara nahi ho jata. We need that mother, that ideal teacher who can catch the next generation, the young boys and girls, in fostering them the love for Bharat, the love for Akhanda Bharat. Teach them what is Atma Samman, what is Atma Tag, Atma Balidan, Atma Nirbharata, Atma Viswas, confidence, so that eventually the target of that individual becomes long-term advancement of the nation, self-sufficiency, not dependent on material gains, but self-realization and service and sacrifice for the nation. And in doing so, we must give more time to children. We must be patient with them. We must listen to them. We must introduce them to their task and household duties. We must teach them about money. We must tell them about such a Bharat. What is a clean Bharat? What is the importance of that Bharat? We must read to them the life of stalwarts, freedom fighters who have sacrificed their lives for the nation. We must engage them in different activities. We must take their attention and show them the way that they must grow up and contribute to the nation. In this way, we would create not only Atmanirbhar Bharat, but a better India, because mothers are finally the agents of Atmanirbhar Bharat. I say mothers and then teachers, they are the agents of Atma Nirbhar Bharat. They are the agents of creation. We have very famous mothers. Hiraben Modi, salute to you. Putlibai Gandhi, salute to you. Vidyavati, mother of Shahid Bhagat Singh, salute to you. Prabhavati Devi, mother of Subhash Chandra Bose, salute to you. Teji Bachchan, mother of Amitabh Bachchan, salute to you. All mothers and all teachers, salute to you. In the words of Abraham Lincoln, there is no way we would be the person that we are today without the sacrifice, motivation, and love for mother. So India, to become a better motherland, to become strong, confident, to believe in herself, we need every ordinary woman to come out of her shell, to become extraordinary, and to be the motivation and inspiration for all of us. I thank you. I thank the hosts, Mr. Venkatakrishna Rao, once again. I thank Dr. Alok Sharma and all other participants who has been listening very patiently. Thank you, everybody. I would love to take questions from you.
So thank you, madam. Thank you very much. It was a mesmerizing speech, I would say. Participants, if you want to interact with Srimati Bharati Ghosh, you please go to the participants and there you can find raise hand option. So if you enter on that, we will become to know that you wanted to interact with the Bharati Ghosh. So today we would encourage lady participants to interact with Madam Ghosh. So before that, we will take some questions or some comments from the senior professors. So first, I request Jayaprakash Dubeji. He is an honorary professor and director at School of Journalism in Delhi University. Jayaprakash Dubeji, conclude in a minute.
Yeah, thank you, Venkat. It has been really, I take your word, it has been mesmerizing. So I have full faith in women, and the confidence expressed by Bharati ji in the women's of India, narrating it from the history, taking it to the today's situation. There are still some issues which need to be taken care of. I know that you have academically worked in this area, and the confidence you expressed was coming from yourself because you have studied it. But do we need to do something which is very specific in nature, which is very concrete? Because having faith in the women contributing to 770 or $800 billion in another 5-6 years, will it not require a lot of massive changes in the skill requirements, skill imposition, skill imparting of the women? Because that is the issue, and particularly it is very relevant in the case of Bengal, where you are saying thousands and thousands of women are still victims of the acid attack in a place which is considered as a very ideal one as far as literacy is concerned and the status of women are concerned. I don't want to take much time because the Venkat has put a lid on it that the women's will be encouraged. So I am talking about, I want to salute all mothers, and we need to have some words from you how to make it possible, ma'am. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. Madam, you wanted to reply?
You see, West Bengal has the highest number of acid attacks in India. West Bengal has the highest number of women trafficking in India. West Bengal has the lowest conviction rate in India. And definitely, as I said, it is the capability will gap of the law enforcement agencies where police is now a joint partner in crime with the ruling government. And we do see a change in 2021. But the damage which has been done in respect of women's security, in respect of the huge number of pending cases where investigation has not taken properly, women on roads, inside, outside, not feeling safe. It's not a legal damage. It's not a damage to one life. It's a big, big social damage where society has retraced back. Previously, it was the left front, 34 years of misrule. And now, almost 9 years of misrule by the Trinamool government with large-scale corruption, with the public distribution system being hijacked, with the relief materials coming from the center, even when there was this Amphan strategy, the huge cyclonic storm, all the materials of relief coming from the central government literally hijacked and taken to the godowns of the Trinamool dadas. This government has led the people into a mess. And I'm sure that the 2021 public mandate would free us, particularly the women, to come forward, because now the women are not able to come forward, be it the Women Rights Commission in West Bengal or the Women and Child Commission in West Bengal. There is no commission now. Nobody can speak any word. And whatever is going on is going on. It is continuing. Can you believe that at one point of time, this state was known as Sonar Bangla, where we had Bankim Chandra, where we had Sharat Chandra, we had Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyashagar, we had Swami Vivekananda, his famous Chicago address, we had Rabindranath Tagore, we had Raja Ram Mohan Roy, and now the Sonar Bangla has become the Kachmani Bengal, where a syndicate is running, and nothing can take place here, no industry, no safety of women, and we are literally in the guts. But you know, we always hope for the best, and with Narendra Modi's leadership, I'm sure that we will see glorious days in the coming future.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Now I request Professor Padraya Gangisetti ji. Sir, please come a minute.
Good evening, ma'am. I just want to bring to your kind notice that genetically speaking, women are the strongest between men and women. When men from times immemorial, especially from prehistoric times, women used to have equal rights. But as hunting thing has come, during childbirth, women took a backseat. From then onwards, men don't want to give equal status to women because they know if equal status is given to men, they will any day will be overshadowed. Because genetically speaking, because I'm professor of genetics, I know, and I know fully well, genetically speaking, the female species is stronger. I'll just give one example. At the time of birth, there will be more male births only to compensate their vulnerability in the long run. Though at birth, females are, what is called the secondary sex ratio low, by the time you take 50 and above, there will be a lot more women in India or anywhere in the world. That itself shows that women are genetically strong. Not only because some of the genes which actually proves the physical provers have not been in use, they are actually becoming delicate. Once they start using that gene, those set of genes also, physically also, they will be very strong. Mentally, there is no comparison. Mentally, women are far, far superior to women. To men. And even physically also, some of the genes, if they use, they'll become strong. And that has to be given priority, ma'am. And I just want to just say one more thing. Golda Meir, she laid the strongest foundation for Israel, on which Israel has become one of the top-notch nations in the whole world. And you mentioned many of the great women, but Golda Meir used to be the only man in the entire Israel, ma'am. She actually laid the strongest foundation for Israel. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I fully agree. I agree. I fully agree with you, sir. Thank you very much for bringing the truth before so many participants. Even the gods cannot come in solo. In solo, they have to come in consort of their wives to make them feel stronger. You know, even in Homa, we do Swaha, mother of Agni. We put up Agni, but we say Swaha. So yes, because one woman is equal to one man plus one woman, and one man is equal to one man. So basically, we are having one man is equal to one man, but one woman is equal to one man plus plus one
And-
woman.
Right.
So
Yes.
genetically, mentally, spiritually, women are stronger than men, and men, as you also you be knowing because you are studying genetics, men in order to feel stronger
Yeah.
takes women along.
Right.
I feel that. I feel that way, you know. And not all men. Some men, of course, can see the truth as you can see the truth. And when you see the truth, you feel women are equal partners. Of course, is always the wish of the women community as a whole to feel equality, not more than equality. Women never want to be more than equal. They always want to be equal. And that's where we love to stay, equality. Not unequal or not more than equal, but equal.
Thank you.
Madam, thank you, Padyaji, and thank you, madam. So now we will take question from one lady participant, Pratima Singh ji. Please ask direct question if you have any.
Yeah, thank you, Venkat. Thank you, ma'am, for a great insight, and it's really nice to know and hear a lot of things from you. So I have one simple and direct question, not one, in fact, two. One as an observation which I feel can be incorporated. As you already highlighted that there is a lot of corruption and there are a lot of cases of acid attack and women trafficking in West Bengal. On the other hand, I see, I being a human right personal who is actually working on human right, so I see that on the other hand in West Bengal, the literacy rate is quite good as compared to other states. But then I feel that is it just a number of literacy rate? Is it actually being there as in literacy within women where they feel that they can they understand the things and then they can take it forward in a positive way and they can feel safe, they know their rights, they know they can handle all these things. One thing as this is one as a question. Other point is that there are so many things which you have spoken in the session. There are many projects happening. There are many things. Can we have something like as an autonomy index for women, where we can evaluate their autonomy level across the nation? That actually they are autonomous, or it's more onto different sides.
Madam, I did not catch the last part of your question. Are you, did you say autonomy index?
Yes, autonomy index. For if can we have something as an autonomy index for women, where we can make women autonomous in different aspects, and we can put it in one site, one platform, where we can evaluate the actual status of women in different angles in just one platform.
Okay, let me answer your question. It's a multifaceted question. The first part was that why West Bengal is having a higher literacy rate, and why so much problem even when West Bengal is having a higher literacy rate. You see, in West Bengal, we have a higher literacy rate because from long time, education is one of the pillars here. Culture, this is a cultural state of India. So education and culture go hand in hand. In the pre-independence time, this state used to lead India. So there are schools, there are colleges, and girls at a young age do attend to those. And statistically, or literally, the rate of educated people is high. But at the same time, here we have to connect education with empowerment. Are the women empowered? No, because the same problem of child marriage, early marriage, dropping out from school, economic problems, ill health, and so on and so forth is rampant in the state, as a result of which women joining the workforce is very less in percentage. And unless they join the workforce, unless they go out and work, education has no meaning. So you have to be economically self-reliant. So from that perspective, the state should come forward as a stakeholder and bringing other stakeholders together to help a particular individual who is coming from socially backward scenario or a normal girl, ordinary girl, to make a livelihood. And that is where we have failed. There may be education, literacy rate, high literacy rate, but working women, no, the rate is very, very low, very low. That is one answer. The second was autonomy index. I will give you one example. You know, in countries where women were not allowed to vote, in those countries, one fine morning, women were allowed to vote. There were changes. When these changes came, the world became conscious of the fact that there is a state or there is a country where women were not allowed to vote for such a long time, and now women are being allowed to vote. Similarly, autonomy index cannot be started because all women, as per the constitution, are free. There is fundamental rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. They are autonomous. Inherently, they are autonomous. So there is no need to start autonomy index because nobody is now a slave or, you know, bind to something or some institution. There is no need for autonomy index. But what is needed is solution, early solution of their problems. If they do not feel, if they're not safe, if they're bonded somewhere, and when that particular woman is aware and comes forward with a complaint, an early solution is needed. And there again, the awareness, maybe you want to express this, awareness of women to come forward, that is not there, not in Bengal. And the awareness level is gradually increasing in India because now Narendra Modi ji has come forward with so many schemes, so many programs. So gradually, women are being entangled in any or the other program. So they're coming forward, but the awareness level definitely has to increase.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, madam. So now I request Professor Tej Pratap Singh ji. He's a senior professor at Banaras Hindu University. So Tej Pratap Singh ji.
Yeah. Oh, am I audible? Can you hear
Yes,
me,
I
Venkat?
can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Venkat. So firstly, I would like to congratulate Madam for such a fascinating lecture on women position. So firstly, when we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, without women being Atmanirbhar, there can't be Atmanirbhar Bharat. Because as we go by demography, half of the India, half of the population is constituted by the women only. So how can we think of having a Atmanirbhar Bharat by ignoring half of the population? So if Atmanirbhar Bharat has to succeed, the women has to be in the center. Madam, you spoke about many leading women personalities of South Asia. Benazir Bhutto in Pakistan, Sheikh Hasina Wajid in Bangladesh, Indira Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and many others. India. Okay, Indira Gandhi, I'm corrected. Srimao Bhandar Naike in Sri Lanka. So if we go by the leaders, top leaders, then we get the picture that probably South Asia is the most empowered as far as women empowered is concerned. Because if we look at the Western countries where we popular perception that probably women enjoy more autonomy over there in comparison to South Asia. We take the example of United States of America. So far, there has been no women president, and even one women candidate, Hillary Clinton, who was nominated for the presidency, even she also lost. So if we go by this thing, a top leadership is concerned, so our South Asia position is much better because so far we forget about having a women president. So far, only one woman has been nominated by two major political parties of the United States of America. So But if you go to the down, to the ground level, to the bottom here, then you get an entirely different picture. I cannot say that the women, the common women, the mass of the women, the rural and urban, who I'm putting them together. If you compare our women, the women of India or South Asia, and the women of Western countries, even including America, then you find that women are enjoying more autonomy, they are more empowered. So why, my question to you is that why this dichotomy at the top level, at the top leadership level, we have many women politicians who occupy the top position. Even your own Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is a woman. I am from Uttar Pradesh, our Mayawati was a woman. Jayalalitha, there are many examples. You spoke about Pratibha Patil also. There are many women. So why only at elite level, top level, there has been empowerment, but at the mass level, at the ground level, women are being discriminated. They are subjected to many kind of discrimination. And if you go by the gender injustice index, the South Asian countries are almost at the bottom. If you go by the Human Development Index, again they are at the bottom. So why this dichotomy at the elite level, at the top leadership level, even you yourself occupying the top position, being IPS, and at the lower level? So why this dichotomy? And secondly, this as far as policy is concerned, you enumerated various policies, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. At policy level, there are many policies are there. Since you are coming from the bureaucracy and you know the realities, and you have also given the data how, citing the data of Crime Record Bureau, the number of cases, the rapes and etc., child marriage, etc. My question to you is that what government of India should do to change the mindset of the people? Because as long as the mindset of the people is not changed, nothing is going to happen. So what will you suggest? What will you propose? Since you have been in the bureaucracy and you can be again in the role of policy making. So what will you do to change the mindset of the people? How to generate awareness about the gender justice? So I would like to know about these things from you, since you have the practical experience also, being in the administration. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your questions. So the first question is self-speaking. It has an answer inside it. You said that in the United States, women do not rise up to that status. They never had a US president. They never had a big women in a big level. But we have here, but in the levels down, we feel that women are downtrodden and victims. In Hindi, इसको कहते हैं युद्ध नहीं होता तो जीता कहाँ से? How you win if there is no war? You know, whenever there is war, whenever there is struggle, whenever there is impoverishment, whenever the women feel that this is not what we want and not what we want to accept, Professor Padaya bola tha, he said that genetically women are strong. So women refuse to accept this and struggle to get in a very big position, and there they go. That is why South Asia has these North Stars. But in America, they can't struggle because they don't know what is struggle. They're never impoverished. They always get that minimum level of rights, and they never, you know, they're not into the struggle. They're not into the war. Your question has the answer itself, sir. Because here in India, there are many, many more women than in United States. 48% of 130 crores is too many women, sir. And too many women facing victimization, facing struggle. They think of rising up, they struggle, they go above. It is a fact that some cases men do help. It's not that men never help. Men do come forward to help and the system helps. So she goes up. But in a land of opportunities, where everybody is getting everything? Where is that spirit of struggle? Where is that Devi Durga coming in to kill the Asur? Devi Durga is not there in the United States. They don't conceptualize Devi Durga. You have to have a Devi Durga. You have to kill the Asur. And that spirit is in the Indian woman because she has faced struggle. She knows what it is to fight and to rise up. That is why Indian woman and the woman of Southeast Asia, and also you've seen how Benazir Bhutto has died. You've seen how Indira Gandhi was assassinated. This is the kind of danger, this is the kind of struggle in which Indian women and the women of Southeast Asia, they face it almost every day and they know how to fight. And sir, your second question, how to generate awareness? I strongly believe that these gender workshops, gender seminars don't really work. The government and the government stakeholders, you can call it the ordinary women in the villages, you can have them as stakeholders, the government and the government's different partners, private NGOs, people in the villages, they should come forward with a very clear vision of raising the awareness and changing the mindset. Because I can give you my experiences, not too much because I'm sure that we have limited time, but I can tell you that when I was SP, one girl, she's a Punjabi girl, she came to me with a complaint of domestic violence. She was being beaten severely. She was the teacher in a small school. And I told her to first shift away from her husband and then to file a complaint. She could not shift. She said that I can't shift. I'm too much attached to him. But definitely I will complain. She gave me a complaint and she continued staying with him. You see, Indian love and affection underlined. And after some time, she came back to me and she said that I don't want to pursue this complaint because he has said sorry to me. I told her that if he has beaten you brutally, that he is bound to repeat it. But she went her way and she withdrew the complaint. And after a few days, her husband literally wanted to murder her and burnt 50%. And her body was having 50% burns. Literally shoved her face on the gas burner. And there she comes, losing her job as a teacher, crying, howling. You see, the mental frame of women in India needs to have a change. The mindset needs to change, but that needs a lot of interventions, lot of positive interventions. And lot of intervention means lot of time for the stakeholders and the government to come in, give time, use interventions, change mindset, take the society up. This is a social problem. You can't, we have draconian laws, but is any crime stopping? So I genuinely feel that with Narendra Modi ji, with his eyes on every sector, he has seen this problem. And in the next few years, we will definitely see a better India, stronger India.
Madam, thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Madam, can we take two questions together?
Yeah, sure.
Now I request Malari DG. He's a professor at IIS CR Kolkata. Malari DG.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, madam. Very nice, actually. So I am faculty in chemistry department at IISER Kolkata. We in the academics, we see that although Bengal is doing very good in terms of basic sciences, you have a lot of intellectuals, but if you see the proportion of the women, even in Bengal, it is not very high. And I think, so there are systemic problems actually. So these problems also need to be addressed. For example, if you see, when you see the career, so when you see the career, So women normally, they, for each child, they lose at least 1.5 years. And then when you look at opportunities or anything, so you basically don't count that last time. It doesn't happen. I'm not saying that women, despite this, are not doing that well. But if you really want to bring out a mass, at a mass scale, large scale, you without looking for spots, actually, bright spots. If you really want to change the system, I think system also need to support them at every stage. So unfortunately, this doesn't happen in our country. And although in many places it happens, if somebody loses 2 years, you cannot really compare them in terms of the productivity or where they are exactly same with men. One important thing, I think this has to be looked at. And also, the training also is important. Venkat, I'll just finish. Training is also important. In our lab, when we have PhD students, we tell the women students that, don't wait for the men to come and lift something. If you really wanted to be treated equally, you don't give them that opportunity to see you less. So also, I think it is important that we tell them at every stage that you are equal. So you need to be also compete with them. I think these are both the sides, they need to be done. Yeah, thank you, Venkat, for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I request Professor Aruna Govada. Aruna ji, please ask directly.
Yes, Venkat. Good evening, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I consider it is a great privilege to talk to you on this platform. Thank you very much for your wonderful and inspired talk. And I really would like to congratulate you and proud of you for all your achievements and the way you are. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And also, good evening to all the intellectuals who are in this session. Ma'am, I will ask the question very quickly. As you mentioned, ma'am, many great women in your speech. So I understand. Even previously, one of the professor asked about the question, the comparison of USA at the level of mass level, the discrimination that is happening in South Asia. Ma'am, what you said is right, that if there is no war, you can't think of any victory. That is true. But ma'am, the other side of the coin, I have a point from my point of view. I feel unless we are free spiritually, mentally, and physically, so I think more productivity and more joy and more harmony will not be possible. So I feel the women in India or Southeast Asia are always worried about the struggle only rather than the victory. That is why very few women are victorious. So mass level, if you see, not many women are victorious because of their problems, their pressures, and their economy status, and the kind of support they get from their families and from the society. Because ma'am, very simple point I would like to mention. The problem of this dowry, generations together it is coming. Even today, people consider it as a prestige and a status to take more money in terms of the dowry. Not only men, but even women also feel proud that they have given lots of money towards dowry. So, ma'am, don't you think that the change has to come at the root level, like in our thinking process, in our ideology of considering women should be submissive, irrespective of the context. And I feel, ma'am, these kind of sessions are very important for the people, for the professionals. But don't you think that these kind of sessions are very important even in the schools? Because at the childhood, the thinking process should be changed when they are children, not at the age of youth or at the middle age. So I feel there is a gap. There is a gap in the schools. No, these kind of sessions are not happening. And another thing, ma'am, you told about all the schemes. I'm really happy, ma'am. I learned about many new schemes. But the problem here is, ma'am, we have great constitution, schemes, rules, and regulations. But unfortunately, we fail at the stage of the implementation. Ma'am, don't you think that we should have a task force in each and every sector, which can, who can work out on the what are the problems we are facing, especially for women, and what should be the road map, like, to empower women in each and every sector. And this task force need not be only the successful people. So this task force can consist of different level of people. Even the people can be chosen from the common crowd also, so that we will be able to implement, we will be able to come out of all these problems. Because ma'am, in your speech, you spoke about women should be able to walk freely on the roads, as Gandhiji was telling. But we are hearing this from past 75 years. But still, it is still a dream. It has not come to the reality. So, isn't it required the systematic study in each and every sector where we are failing? What is the what should be changed in our thinking process? Why we are not able to demolish the dowry system even today, and the acid attacks and all those problems, whatever you mentioned in your speech, ma'am?
Arunaji, thank you. You have asked plenty of questions. I think,
Yeah.
Madam,
Yes,
you
yes.
wanted
No,
to
no, no,
respond
no, no.
now, or can we
I
take?
have heard. I have heard everything.
Uh,
You see, I would ask Aruna to hear my speech again in records.
Yes.
I would start from the last question. The task force and roadmap for implementation is already there. That is why we are finding self-help groups in Telangana, in Bundeli, in Chhattisgarh, and women in the villages are forming self-help groups, coming out and working. No one can change the thought process like that. You have to understand one thing, that the Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961 was enforced from 1961. The Dowry Prohibition Rules 1984 came. People still give dowries. People still take dowries. So no one can go and tell a girl that do not get married because the boy is asking for dowry. This is something which should come in the mindset of the women itself. And that is why I said that you have to catch them young and make them good citizens, big human beings, the mother and the teacher. I said that they are the ideal guides or agents of Atma Bharat. Because when a mother teaches her son not to accept dowries, when a mother teaches her daughter to have Atma Sanman, Atma Marjada, then there is a match. The boy will not ask for dowry and the girl will not give the dowry. Regarding your question that, there was a previous question by another member of the audience, that he said that in Bengali people take basic science, but there is a systematic problem, and because there are dropouts, and the Bengali girls, they wait for boys without taking food, and when he tells the girls that you take your food because you are equal partners, they don't listen. I would say that this is the mindset of the Bengali women. Not only the mindset of the Bengali women, but the mindset of the Indian women is gradually changing, but you have to give it time. Both the speakers talked about USA. USA is a land of opportunities. I repeat myself, USA is a land of opportunities. There, women do not struggle as women do here. You have to understand that we have 130 crores population, 48% women, which means roughly 62 to 64 crores women. And 64 crores women is a very big number. In this number, if we have a certain percentage of women joining the workforce, say it was, I told you, it was 32.2% in 2005, it dropped to 23.4% in 2018. There has been a fall in the number of women joining the workforce. But again, when you're talking of changing the mindset, you're talking of, making the women stronger, you're talking of generating awareness. Also, please think that we need to have more small scale industries and more MSME more employment opportunities. So I repeat, more employment opportunities to allow the girls to join the workforce. On one hand, the girls must be educated, trained, through a lot of initiatives being taken in the healthcare, education, community engagement, livelihoods. On the other hand, we need to have the employment opportunities ready. For instance, a girl of 15, 16 years want to earn money herself. She can go and join maybe a call center, maybe something. That should be there. If she does not get it, maybe her economic condition is such that her parents force her to marry. So you see, it is a vicious circle. It is not a single factor which is responsible for this mindset. It is the economic depression. It is the struggle. It is many people. The population is too large, 62 crores of women, too large. So if we are intelligently thinking that we need to employ 50% of the young girls, then that is also a lot of population. So we need to have the economic opportunities ready for these people to join. So the process is not easy. India is gradually moving towards that, but I would ask the audience to be patient, to have trust and believe in Narendra Modi ji's way of thinking. You have seen him working things out. You know that during the COVID-19 situation, he announced a very tiny lockdown, and that saved many lives. We are in the caution mode. We are still cautious. We are trying to save lives in India. At this juncture, it's very important to build a voice among the Indian women that we are here. We want to be part of Atma Nirbhar Bharat. So please, the government, look at us and give us the relevant opportunity. Whether it is coming and talking to our parents so that they change the mindset and not give us an early marriage, whether it is creating employment opportunities for us, whether it is saying to the community that if you give dowry, you go to jail, but whatever is to be done, we have to be doing it with one voice, and all of us should be in one page so that the cumulative strength actually puts a pressure on the social system and acts as a catalyst for the system to change.
Hello.
Yes, madam, thank you. Madam, we will take 3 questions together now due to time constraint.
So shall I interact with them? I think.
Srinivas
Yes,
Babu Garu, please go ahead.
Yes.
The principal at Engineering College, Gayatri Engineering College.
Gayatri College of Science and Management, Srikakulam of Andhra Pradesh, madam. Very good evening. Good evening, madam. Your lecture is thought provoking, but the thing what I have been observing for the last so many years, I have completed 23 years of service, teaching service. I have been attending many webinars, national, international. What you have mentioned, right? I agreed with you. Because the things and debate is only confined to the platform only. There is no question of carrying all these things and implementation and execution. Even what I observed that, what are the things organized, especially relevant to the topic women, how many men are going to attend? That's the first question, what I observed. Because what are maybe the topic?
I didn't catch you.
Hello?
I didn't catch you.
Repeat again the question.
Okay, ma'am. You see, there are so many national webinars and all these things are being conducted by some of the institutions, and the topics are related to women, but how many men are going to attend that? That's the question. Just we have to observe the mindset of the men. Whenever we think that we are basically human beings, both are created by God for a particular purpose, can we serve the purpose of that? That's the thing here. How can we people avoid gender discrimination? If you take my college, 80% of the students are girls, only 20% are boys. The toppers of the college are always girls. There is no chance for boys. Such strong determination can be found especially in women, because I have to appreciate, because here there is no question of a discussion men or women, and we have to protect ourselves. And some people said task force or something like that. Until unless we get change, there is no question of use. That's why how can we create awareness regarding gender discrimination? What are the steps to be taken in which we have to enlighten the students, especially? That's my question from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I request Dimple Kaurji.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm really honored to listen to you and hear about all the policies and all the programs that are running. And I would actually like to voice out that it is such a beautiful thing that you have said, that change will come only when there is a collective effort. At the same time, the change has to come, like other people have been talking about, the mindset. I'm an independent researcher and a psychologist, and I still come across cases wherein women at home are being oppressed not only by men, but also women at home. So when we talk about mindset change, it's also about understanding that for last 700 to 800 years, what have we been subjected to? What kind of thinking have we been subjected to? Because we are the land of Kali. We are the land where we worship Ardhanarishwara. It is all about equality. Then where does this come from? The words like protection, the words like dowry burning, dowry deaths, and who all are involved. So there is a lot of, since there is so much dearth of or scarcity that women feel at home, that there is a constant fight for it, and there is no shying away from oppressing the girls and women at home. And today, till last year, when I was working, going to colleges and conducting workshops, there the girls are coming that parents are pressurizing. Now that you are in third year, get married. Now you have done your graduation, get married. So when we are collectively asking about how to bring the change in the mindset, I think it has to start with the educational institutions itself. Plus, I think more and more men and mothers have to be really retrained. We have to regain our thought process of what we actually were, how we actually worshipped and looked at women. And also it's all about redefining that it's not just learning, but also earning. I think this is one of the biggest line that I have been using, and I would like it to be given a more strength by voice like yours, that it's not only, we are not at the point where only education, we are not only about learning, but also earning, because the pressure comes from the family that now you are a wife and you stay at home. So it has to be a very constitutional change. I think it cannot be one person or one institution, but it has to be at a mass level from the centralized institutions.
Thank you, madam. Now I request Professor Nitesh Purohit ji. Sir, ask direct question. We are really running short of time, and many participants are there.
Yeah. Thank you, Venkat. So, ma'am, namaskar.
Namaskar.
It is really nice to see you are answering so enthusiastically after such a splendid talk. So I'll simply asking one query. Actually, I have been wondering since a long time. And you said it too, that there are several schemes launched by the central government which are not properly, or in fact not implemented at all in the West Bengal. My question is this: for an example, if we take the example of the Ayushman Bharat, so what stops you as a party to extend these benefits to the people of West Bengal? Actually, because this is something which is related to individuals. So your volunteers and other people can definitely help these people. They can definitely rope in a few hospitals, and it can be extended. So even if the government is not supporting, then also as a party you can do it. So this is the question. Thank you.
Okay, so there are few questions. I start with the first one, how we can generate more gender awareness. I think I already touched it before, that we need to have a collective effort to change the mindset, because there have been thousands of gender workshops, gender seminars, anti-discriminatory laws, but eventually this is a mindset which society has. And to make women equal partners, we must be fighting collectively with one voice, in one page, and everything should start from the villages. If the village changes, the town and the capital would eventually change. So that is the first thing. The second is Dr. Dimple Kaur. She said that learning with earning. Madam, I think in my last answer, I said that employment opportunities are to be created because young girls, during their educational period, when they want to earn, the stakeholders, different stakeholders must come forward and create sufficient employment opportunities in order to assure them and give them the confidence to continue their education, because otherwise education becomes meaningless if the woman is not economically empowered at the end of her education and at any age. It is not that she has to be a graduate to earn. If she wants to earn after 18, during the pursuance of her any course, she should be able to do that, and the government and other stakeholders must come forward. I think I mentioned this in my last answer. So obviously, learning with earning is a factor, and I don't know whether a country which has been burdened with the caste system, which has been burdened with sati, which has been burdened with this widow problem, so many issues, Harijan problem. This is a country with a massive, diverse history. And we need a Ram Mohan to remove sati. We needed a Vidyasagar for widow remarriage. We needed Modi ji for removal of triple talaq. And I'm sure that Modi ji will continue to bring in more bombastic and creative ways to generate that kind of awareness among parents, so that the mindset changes. Because what I have seen is that not only the economic part, as you say, even if the girl is earning, sometimes she is forced into early marriage. So essentially, learning with earning helps. It does help, but it is not the sole factor on which 1.5 million girls are forced into early marriage before they attain 18 years. There are other factors. So I guess that it is a social revolution which is needed and will come with time, because the condition was much worse before, and gradually we are moving towards a better society. The last question, Ayushman Bharat. Sir, we are not in a position to introduce any such schemes without the accent of the government. This is the state policy of the state as well as policy of the central government. Recently, this government has given a positive answer to Ayushman Bharat, provided the funds of Ayushman Bharat are channelized into the state treasury, which means that the Mamata government wants that funds for Ayushman Bharat and funds for the farmers, that subsidy or help, financial help, which Modi gives 6,000 rupees. All these funds, both funds, will be channelized to the Trinamool Congress treasury and will be disbursed by the state government. I'm sure that the central government, the Modi's government, will not agree to this, and we'll have a further dependency of few months. But I'm also sure that with 2021, with the new government coming in, Ayushman Bharat will not be far, and the farmers will obviously get their spending disbursements done. So there are critical issues and issues of policy, matters of policy, but obviously what is best for the state needs to be done. And we are trying our best to do that.
Yes, madam. Thank you. We will take all questions together. I request Taposh Palji. Taposh Palji, please ask direct question. So without wasting time, please ask direct question.
Yes. Thanks, Venkat. Uh, Namaskar, Bharti ji. My question is, myself Taposh Pal. I'm a solution architect in Bangalore. I worked here, so I stayed here. So my direct question is, Bengal has a public debt over 5 lakh crore rupees. Carrying forward with this backlog, how do you think that development can be possible for the upcoming government? Because as we all know that BJP is going to come, so how we are thinking on that? Thank you.
Thank you, Taposhi. Now I request Dr. Srishti Srivastava. Srishti ji, please ask direct question.
Hello, ma'am. A very good evening. It was very pleasure to listen to you. Ma'am, I just want to ask, is there any law government is going to make to increase the age of a girl child for marriage? Because in today's scenario, when a girl completed his 12th, I think intermediate, she reaches about like 17 or 18 years of age. And I think the minimum age for marriage is 18 years, right? For today. But after 18 years of age, every parents thinks now it's time to get married. Even if she is in college or first year or second year, parents force her to get married as early as possible. If she is in job, parents force her, now you're earning, please get married as early as possible. Then after marriage, she quitted her job because she married in a different state or a different city. Then after that, she struggled to get her job or quit it. I think she will have to quit her job for 1 or 2 years. Then she can resume, but the scenario like families and everything, responsibilities. So I just want to ask this question that is there any government is planning to increase the age of girl child marriage? Because this is very important from my side. It should be increased.
Thank you, Srishti Srivastava ji. Now I request Navneet Singh ji. Please ask their
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैडम गुड इवनिंग एंड मैं अपनी तरफ से हमारे टुवर्ड्स बेटर इंडिया की तरफ से वी आर वेरी थैंकफुल टू हियर यू। मेरा डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है और बहुत ही स्पष्ट है मैडम, आप बंगाल से हैं, बंगाल ने देश को दिशा दी है, हमेशा दिशा दी है, और पर्सनली मुझे आपसे बहुत एक्सपेक्टेशन है। क्यों है? क्योंकि मैं ममता बनर्जी का सब्स्टिट्यूट ढूंढ रहा हूं अपने बीजेपी में। आई एम अ बीजेपी नेशनल एग्जीक्यूटिव इन किसान मोर्चा एंड व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड इन अ लीडर, दैट इज द बिगेस्ट क्वेश्चन मैम। रेपो बिल्डिंग विद द मास, दैट इज लैकिंग इन बीजेपी वेस्ट बंगाल, and we have seen Kiran Bedi, we have seen many people, and you may take it my suggestion or you may take it as my question. We are lacking where is the leader who are, whatever you are inside, whatever you are outside. That was the biggest point in Mamata Banerjee. She connect with the public when she was wearing a Hawaii chappal and she was going in a public and she speaks kemon ache, direct attachment. That is missing in our BJP leadership, and I am expecting, ma'am, I will not talk, we will come in government or not, but how you are going to take this place, that is my request or question, whatever you take it.
Thank you, Navneet ji. You should have asked her, madam, personally. I will connect you with the madam. Thank you, Navneet ji. Thank you very much. So now I request, we have a Professor Lal Kishore ji, is the former Vice Chancellor at Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University. Lal Kishore.
Yeah. Good evening, madam. You have narrated very nicely about the various schemes of the government. In my opinion, say the size of the family particularly in poorer sections, matters a lot. And the poorer sections, in order that a child has a decent living, and it is the right of the birthright of a child to have a decent living and decent education, and then brought up, and it is the responsibility of the parents to see that the child is given all the benefits or the rights are met. But a larger family among poorer sections deprives the child all these things. And illiteracy among the women is also contributing, and they are not able to resist or say plan for the size of the family and so on. If the government schemes are linked to the size of the family, particularly for poorer sections, the standard of living of the poorer people will definitely increase. Will there be any possibility on the government side to enact a law? It may not be popular, and some religious sections are playing negative role with respect to the increasing their population and so on. So in order to meet that particular challenge, say from the government side, if the law is enacted to see that the size of poorer people, section, size of the family of poorer section people is smaller, and benefits are given proportionately, then definitely people will be able to think or say women may be educated in that direction. What is your opinion in that way? Or are there any plans from the government side in that direction?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Taposh Palji, I messaged you. Please see that. So now I request Santosh Sastri Kharraji. Santosh ji, please ask direct question.
Yes, good evening, Venkatji. Good evening, Bhartji. Good evening. So my direct question is, when you say Bengal, we will remember Rabindranath Tagore, Geetanjali, Nobel Prize. If you go ahead like that, we will remember very good people from Bengal who united everyone. But my question is now, what is the role of the government that looks regarding Rohingyas, where they become a threat to the united country? Rabindranath Tagore has given Janaganamana and everything they united, but now there is a threat from Rohingyas as we people are being looking from the news. So what is the role of the government, or what exactly scenario is going ahead in Bengal regarding Rohingyas is my direct question.
Okay.
And you are the right person to answer, as you are having a background from an IPS. So I hope it is the question.
Thank you, Santoshi. Thank you very much. Last question we will take from lady faculty from Hyderabad Central University, Nagamani ji. Please ask direct question. Nagamani ji, are you there? Please unmute yourself.
Sir.
Hi. Please
Hello.
Yes, Nagamani ji, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. It's a wonderful session. So my observation and the question to the government. So two of the important things, I will take only half minute. One is the medical part. So where the most of the women are trapped into the medical this thing, and they are unable to, after the middle age part kind of thing, people are losing their energy because of the medical negligence and all those things during their pregnancy and other thing. They are trapped. That is the thing we need to take the proper decision. Another point is a child, from the childhood onwards, a girl child should teach this self-defense kind of thing, because you are from the forced this thing, and you know the power of the energy and other things. So girls, so that we can protect. So we cannot think what is the thing happening, but how to solve the things we are thinking. And most important thing is those people are in the intellectual these things, so they should be involved in the decision making. And most important, very, very important thing is the decision making politics. Women power should be increased. The women participation should be increased. Then only the entire things will be changed, and it is possible whatever the solutions the government. So if the government takes these important aspects and bring every state the women power into the politics, then only the things will happen. People like you have to come forward. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Venkatakrishna ji and madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nagamani ji. Madam, you can address all the questions.
Yes, I did not catch the name of the third speaker, but anyway, I will try to answer. First question is by Taposh ji regarding public debt of West Bengal. Taposh ji, I would like to tell you that the left front government, when they, after ruling for 34 years, they left a public debt of 1.93 lakh crores, for which our state exchequer has to bear the burden of almost rupees 45,000 plus, like 45,300 and something crores per year for debt repayment. This is the interest. And this government, the TMC government, actually doubled the debt in only 8 years of their rule. So what the left front could do in 34 years, 1.93 lakh crores as a state debt, this government in 8 years doubled the debt and put a huge burden for interest payment on us. And you are right, how the state foresees development in such a situation. You see, today, selling of foreign liquors and selling of country liquors gives us almost 10,000 crore revenue in the state. So the government, the Trinamool government, wants people to drink and sleep, to buy liquor, drink and sleep. And that is what the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to correct. To bring industries, to stop the cut money, which is the commission, which the government earns, which is 30,000 crores per year, and to generate more revenue so that the debt burden as well as the interest payment could stop and the state can move towards development. We are fully aware of the problem and we have solutions. Next question of Shrishti, whether the law should be implemented for increasing the marriageable age of the girl child. Well, I think, if you're asking me, I think that a government goes by public mandate. Janadesh, jisko bolte hai na, Janadesh, Jan ka Adesh, public mandate. If you go around in India asking families, asking parents whether the marriageable age of the girl child should be increased, I wonder what percentage of the population will support it. So the government always goes by popular mandate, and one option for the government in this case is not to force, not to impose a greater age for marriage, but to change the mindset of the Indian population by different schemes, projects, different subsidies, loans, by giving some kind of funds for wedding expenses, and gradually changing the mindset by different dramas, enacting dramas, by getting into community engagements. You have to change the mindset, and you cannot force the change always by making laws, draconian laws. Draconian laws have been made in so many aspects. The number of crime has never decreased. So don't rely on laws always. It is better, as the next speaker says, connect with people. Connecting with people and trying to bring the change by the people, for the people, with the people, in favor of the people. That should be our focus, not the laws. Regarding third speaker, thank you very much, sir. Definitely Mamata Banerjee connected with the people, but you have not seen my videos. I would like to interact you on a one-to-one basis into my videos. You will see that gradually the previous ruler is losing her connectivity and new people are coming up with greater and better connectivity. And the collective connectivity, I say collective connectivity. Why? Because Mamata may connect with 100 people. I may connect with 70. My team members may connect with 10. We are still less in connectivity, but all team members together. So it is called collective connectivity. And with collective connectivity, we are going to take Bengal in 2021 to BJP formation of state of government. And the fourth speaker, size of family. Yes, very, very important, size of family, because it is ultimately the population explosion. When we are talking of women joining the workforce, we are talking of learning for earning. How many people will learn and earn? It is 48% women, 48% of 130 crores. So almost 62 crores women. So 62 crores. So how many people will go and earn? And what are the employment opportunities? Population explosion is a big problem. At the same time, population explosion can give you many advantages like largest democracy. Okay, you want to sell your iPhone. You have a ready market here. You want to sell something. You have the biggest market, the second biggest market after China, the largest democracy. So pros and cons. We have to find out ways how to control the population. I don't think that draconian laws will be very beneficial. Particularly, you must understand that in respect of a community, that community will never ever adhere to law when it comes to sizing their families. And in the end, the majority may suffer. So we have to be very careful in our approach. The Rohingyas, Santoshji's question. Santoshji, the state of West Bengal has a different perspective regarding Rohingyas. We have a different perspective regarding Rohingyas. We definitely believe that people in the border who are our inhabitants for long, who are the citizens of India, do have the right to stay peacefully without any incursions on or illegal infiltrations. I think that I would limit my statement on Rohingyas over here. And in case you want to have a one-to-one discussion, definitely I could give you many interesting happenings on what is happening in the state and how we can take over this problem. Last question is self-defense, whether self-defense should be practiced by Nagmoniji. Yes, self-defense should become a part of the syllabus, but again, we cannot force any institutions. So the entire workshop, I would like to say a few things. I have taken the questions and I find that the audience is interested to impose certain things, whether impose laws on increasing the size, decreasing the size of family, or increasing the marriageable age, or putting in self-defense classes. One has to understand that people in India are very, very sachetan. Sachetan means alert, aware of their rights. You go to any family, it has a history of 100 years. Uska baap, dada, forefathers, sabhi hai. You can't really force anyone to do anything. You have to do it very gently. Institutions, private institutions will listen. Only if you approach them gently and provoke their thoughts. Draconian laws are not going to help. And Nagmoniji, having political participation, more political participation of women. I am an example here. I'm standing in front of all of you. And definitely there should be more women. And we all intend to do that. Thank you.
So, thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Will you give 2 minutes concluding remarks?
You're asking me?
Yes, madam.
Okay. First of all, again, namaskaram to all of you. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present myself before all of you. I'm really elated because this is a galaxy of intellects. And we find many, many North Stars in this huge constellation of brilliance. I find that the teachers, the professors of IITs, and the elite from the education and other streamlines of the society are here, not only to hear me out, but also to participate actively, because they are also very much conscious about where society is going tomorrow. And they're interested to change the society for a better India, for a movement towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, and of course, a prosperous community. And they are very much interested, all of you are very much interested for the progress of the nation. And I think this is my takeaway from today, that I've met a galaxy of stars, and every star is interested for the development of India, for the development of women, and for the development of our community and society. Because COVID-19 is moving ahead with force, and every day the figures are increasing, जोर हाथ करके नमस्कार करके I would request you all to put your masks and to maintain 2 गज की दूरियां, in order that all of us should be safe and sound, and only when we are safe and sound we can move together collectively for a better India. Those who are interested to interact with me on a one-to-one basis, please collect my telephone number from Venkata Krishna, and thank you all very much. God bless you all.
So thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Now I request Dr. Dimple Kaurji to give vote of thanks. Dimple Kaurji, hand over to you.
Yes. Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank Madam Bharati Ghosh ji for such an enlightening and sharing and voicing out the collective voice that is required to bring about change in not only the status, but the respect as the self-reliance and independence of women today in India. So thank you very much, ma'am. And it has been such an honor and pleasure both to listen to you. I would now also like to thank the organizer, Venkata Krishna, for organizing this platform and bringing out all these eminent personalities to come and share their views and listen to the new agendas and new areas of improvement to bring betterment in India. Then I would also like to thank all the participants who have open-heartedly shared their concerns, their ideas and their opinions in how to improve and bring better status and better education and self-reliance in women of India. And of course, that being said, we need more and more participation of not only women, but also men together to bring out Atmanirbhar women. It all starts at home, at grassroots level, at village level, at institutional level, and at central and national level. Thank you very much for today's participation, and I hope to see you in the next gathering again. And I would love to be part of that gathering again. And it was pleasure and honor both. Thank you very much.
So thank you, madam. Thank you, Dimple Kaurji, for enlightened vote of thanks. So thank you very much. Thank you, Bharati Ghosh, for accepting our request. And I also thank all the participants for having a lot of patience. So again, we will have another session. So thank you very much. Thank you.